Merry Christmas, YouTube. Team Movies here. Now, I do love me a good Christmas movie, but I will admire that there are some really bad Christmas films. Like, there's lots of Christmas movies I do love, whether you talk about Home Alone, Christmas Story, It's a Wonderful Life, etc. But there are some pretty horrendous ones. So, that being said, here's my top 10 worst Christmas movies of all time. Alright, coming in at number 10, it is Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutants Killer Snowman. Now, I really love the first Jack Frost. Granted, I'm not talking about the Michael Keaton family film. I am talking about the horror film about Killer Snowman. Now, the first Jack Frost, it's dumb, it's really fun, a really nice, creepy horror film. Just in my 10 favorite Christmas horror films, and, that Jack Frost, the first Jack Frost movie, was in that top 10 list. But the sequel on the other hand, which was like a home to video sequel, which got released, I think, in early 2000s or something, the sequel stunk so badly. I mean, this time around, you got Sam, played by Christopher Alport, who was traumatized by his experience from the previous Christmas, battling Jack Frost, played by Matt Falietta, who's this like murder snowman possessed by a serial killer, and so like his wife named Anne thinks that like a trip to the tropics will get his like mind off the snow, but when they end up packing their bags and heading to a resort to an island in the Pacific, the FBI also accidentally resurrects Jack's remains during an experiment, and I'm not kidding, a snowman literally decides to go to a hot island, like a resort island, and to get his revenge on Sam. So you've got a snowman heading into like a tropical island. Yeah, even Frosty the Snowman isn't that dumb. Yeah, this is a really dumb film. I mean, the first film's dumb too, but this movie is horrible. The acting and script is just plain old bad. I mean, yeah, go check out the first Jack Frost, but the sequel you don't have to borrow. It has some stupid kills too. But alright, speaking of Christmas horror. My number 9, I just saw this film like a couple of weeks ago, and it is Black Christmas. Black Christmas is horrendous. Now, I'm talking about the recent remake. I quite like the 2006 one. I know lots of people probably have the 2006 one on this list, but I really got kicked out of it. But the recent remake with Imogen Poots was a horrendous, awful mess. Just in my top 10 worst movies of the year. And congratulations to the recent Black Christmas remake. That ended up being in my top 10 list. It's horrible, terrible script, horrible acting. I mean, yeah, I really couldn't get this film at all. And it's a shame too, because I do love me a good horror slasher film, but yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, coming in at number 8, it is Christmas with the Cranks. Now, this stars Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis, who plays this couple who plans to eschew the Christmas tradition and take like a cruise to the Caribbean instead. But this doesn't really sit well with their Christmas obsessed neighbors named Vic Fromer, played by Dan Aykroyd, and Walt Skill, played by Amamet Wash, who are determined to win the annual Best Decoration Street competition. But the Cranks also soon find themselves very socially outcast because of their lack of Christmas spirit. So they decide to, so they kind of decide not really to, not celebrate the holidays and all. And this is, I'm not kidding, this movie literally has a 5% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's how bad it is. And Tim Allen, he's no stranger to Christmas films. He of course did the Santa Claus films. But this is probably his worst. You also had Jamie Lee Curtis in this. I mean, Dan Aykroyd. This movie was not at all funny. I mean, it made the Shaggy Dog look like an Oscar winner. But, yeah, Christmas Cranks, definitely not a good film. Alright. Coming in at number 7, this is also a more recent one, and that is Saving Christmas. Now, This, of course, stars Kirk Cameron, who's like enjoying the annual Christmas party. That's like thrown by his sister until he realizes that he needs to put out a Christian. He needs to put out like a Christian, and his brother-in-law has like a bad case of the humbugs curse, and so he has to try to find what like try to save Christmas in all. I can't really tell you much about this movie. I've seen it back in like a couple years ago. Saving Christmas stunk. Shows that Kirk Cameron is not that good of an actor at all. I mean, him and his sister, who's, of course, if you guys don't know, his sister is Candace Cameron Bure, who's, of course, who played DJ on Full House. And, of course, they're very Christian and all. And Saving Christmas, I mean, this thing just stunk really bad. Kirk Cameron added lots of his other family members in this. So it was a family affair. I'm a bit surprised that Candace was in this, but I bet even Candace saw the script and was like, okay, you're not putting me in this. But, yeah, Saving Christmas, I mean, Kirk Cameron hasn't really been in anything great since Growing Pains. And, okay, I guess Fire, right? But, yeah. I mean, it was pretty cool seeing Kirk Cameron have, like, a cameo as himself on this recent episode of Fuller House, but yeah, he's not that good of an actor, to be honest with you, but alright. Coming in at number 6, it is Santa with Muscles. I'm not kidding. They literally thought it was a cool idea to do a movie with Hulk Hogan as Santa Claus. That's right, Hulk Hogan as Santa Claus, people. One more key asked for there. And, I mean, it shows that Hulk Hogan is a horrible actor. Like, that guy cannot act that well. I mean, he was just horrendous in this. You also got other folks like Don Stark was in this, Ed Badgley Jr., who plays like this evil scientist. Emner Frost is trying to take over an orphanage in order to gain like access to the magical crystals underneath it and all. Of course, you had Garrett Morris. You had a very young Mila Kunis was in this. I mean, yeah, Hulk Hogan had he got a weird film resume. Like, of course, he was in Mr. Nanny. Remember Mr. Nanny? He was in Suburban Commando. Remember that one? His only decent film he's ever been in was actually Gremlins 2 and one of the Rocky movies. Those are like the only, good stuff that Hulk Hogan has actually been in. But yeah, Hulk Hogan is just he really stinks at acting, and we haven't really seen Hulk Hogan try act since. And I think just because The Rock is being pretty decent in films doesn't mean Hulk Hogan is. So, I mean, I like Hulk Hogan too, but Hulk Hogan with playing a Santa here. Oh god, that's all you got. Coming in at number 5, it is Home Alone 4: Taking Back the House. All right, now I quite like. Now most people probably add Home Alone 3 in this list. I kind of got kicked out of Home Alone 3. Like, was it as good as the first 2 Home Alones? Definitely not. It wasn't that offensive either. I like that. I really, and of course, it gave us a young Scarlett Johansson. So, Home Alone 3, that could pass. I'll give Home Alone 3 a pass. Home Alone 4, on the other hand, it is the worst installment out of the Home Alone films. And next to Home Alone 5. I mean, here you have Kevin McAllister, whose parents has just split up, and now his mom is, and now he's also living with his mother, and he also decides to spend Christmas with his dad at the mansion of his father's rich girlfriend, Natalie. Meanwhile, you got Marv here, who's one of the wet bandits from the first film, teams up with like a new criminal named Vera to steal at Natalie's mansion. You also got French Stewart, who played the role of Marv. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you guys don't know, Marv was, of course, played by Daniel Stern, so, yeah. But Home Alone 4, oh, God, I mean, the Home Alone movies got released in, 90s, and Home Alone 4 got released in 2002 or early 2000s. They were supposed to make us believable that, because, I mean, this Kevin McAllister was still a child, so, it's like that kid hadn't even aged 1 minute. And Home Alone 4, it was not at all funny. it had a whole new different cast, and it still kept Kevin McAllister's shoes. So yeah, Home Alone 4 is definitely the worst out of the franchise. All right, coming in at number 4, it is Jingle All the Way 2. Now I love the first Jingle All the Way. Like most people probably add the first film in this list, but I got to kick out Jingle All the Way. You got Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sinbad, Phil Hartman. But years later after that, they thought it was a cool idea to do a sequel. And the sequel is known as Jingle All the Way 2, starring Larry the Cable Guy. And here you got, these two desperate dads who try to compete in a no holds barred vow to be like the best father. And so you got like this fun loving, laid back dad named Larry, played by Larry the Cable Guy, who's having like a bear of a time finding his like the perfect Christmas gift for his 8-year-old daughter. And so of course they also want, of course it's like similar to the first film where the kid wanted a special toy, but everything was sold out, so he'll stop at nothing to get it for her. And of course, like the first film, there's two dads competing against her. I mean, oh god, Larry the Cable Guy, he is not that good of an actor. I mean, he could be he's a good comedian actually. Like, if you never seen like his redneck comedy specials and stuff, Larry the Cable Guy is a really good stand-up comic. But as an actor, yeah, Larry the Cable Guy is not really that great in movies. And Jingle All the Way Part 2 showed it. He was horrible in this. This movie wasn't at all funny. It was terrible. It was a home video release. And I mean, Kindergarten Cop 2 is actually a better movie. The one with Dolph Lundgren in it, but that's not really saying much. Alright, coming in at number 3, it is Santa Conquers the Martian. I mean, this movie got released around in the 40s and all, and it was it came out around the era of weird B movies, whether it's a Plan 9 from Outer Space and all, and Glenn and Glenda. Now, Santa Claus Conquers Martian. Lots of people probably would consider as should be more of a guilty B movie pleasure, but it's horrible. I mean, the acting in this is pretty bad. I mean, Santa Claus taking down Martians. What were they thinking? I mean, I really, Screen Rant has to do a pitch meeting of Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. I mean, yeah. But oh boy, this is probably one of the worst movies of that era. And proves that there was some really bad films of the 40s and 30s and all. And Santa Conquers the Martians is definitely one of them. All right, coming in at number 2, it is Surviving Christmas. Now, this had a really good cast. It starred the likes of Ben Affleck, Christina Applegate, James Gandolfini, Catherine O'Hara, speaking of Home Alone. Jennifer Morrison was in this, and in it stars Affleck, who plays this guy named Drew Lapham, who has no close relationship and becomes a nostalgic for his childhood home as Christmas approaches. And so when he visits his own house, he finds another family living there, and he offers the residents Tom Velko, played by Gandolfini, and his wife, played by Catherine O'Hara, a large sum of money to pretend that they are his parents. So yeah. And you got Alicia, who plays Tom and Christine's daughter here. I mean, this movie it was not that funny. I mean, the movie actually got a couple of Razzie nominations, but lost out to Catwoman. And to be honest, I think Catwoman is a much better movie than this. But that's not saying much. But Surviving Christmas, I mean, Ben Affleck had a weird early 2000s. Jilly, Surviving Christmas. Thank God he had an interesting comeback thanks to Argo and Batman vs Superman and all. But Surviving Christmas just really blew. If you guys haven't seen Surviving Christmas, yeah, you don't have to see it. I mean, Tony Soprano in a family Christmas movie. Come on. All right, now what is the worst Christmas movie of all time? Obviously, the number 1 goes to the Star Wars Christmas special, or I should say holiday special. I mean, Come on, who knew that Christmas was celebrated in the galaxy far, far away? You got Chewie, who has like a kids in this. I mean, of course, you got the like. We also get to look at the everyday life of the Wookiee family. I mean, this special got released like around like right after when A New Hope kick it was a hit and was a big Star Wars hit, and then this got released like in between New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, and boy, this thing just blew so badly. It's to me is one of the worst Star Wars movies to ever be released. It's a horrible, horrendous mess. I mean, how did on earth were they able to get people like Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill all in this? Is beyond me. I mean, they must have gave them a good chunk of money for this. I mean, I love all the Star Wars movies, even the prequels, but there are Star Wars films that I don't like, and the holiday special is one of them. And yeah, if you guys want to go laugh, maybe go see it. Like, it's a very intentionally funny film, but it's a horrible mess. So, yeah, Star Wars Holiday Special. Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. 10. Jack Frost 2. 9. Black Christmas. 8. Christmas with the Cranks. 7. Saving Christmas. 6. Santa with Muscles. 5. Home Alone 4. 4. Jingle All the Way 2. 3. Santa Claus Conquers the Martian. 2. Surviving Christmas. And 1. The Star Wars Holiday Special. Now, there are some other ones I probably could have added here. Let me see what else is there. Deck the Halls with Matthew Broderick and Danny DeVito. That was pretty bad. 4 Christmases with Vince Vaughn. Speaking of Vince Vaughn, Fred Claus wasn't all that good. An American Carol. I sort of like Santa Claus 3. I thought it was like a big step down from Santa Claus 1 and 2, but I didn't mind that so much. Alright, what else is here? Christmas Vacation. Shoot, that was actually a thing. Home Alone 5. 1959, Santa Claus. I mean, yeah, there's some pretty horrendous Christmas films out there. But let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your worst Christmas movies of all time? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is C Movie signing off.